with this. Right before I got on, I had to have a piece of chocolate. I was like, I need something to eat. So I had to get my energy up. So I had a piece of, what is it called? One of these York peppermint patties. Oh, York peppermint patties. So, all right. Hey, Christina. All right, Christina's in the house. Okay, everybody. It is time for our Ferny live. So for those of you who are new to my lives, I get on here every Wednesday, every Friday. It's a chance for y'all to ask me whatever questions you want to ask me about. So that's why I'm here. So that way I can answer your questions. And so if you are, we got TikTok going, we got Instagram going, we have Facebook and YouTube and Twitter over here going. So if you want to be on video, y'all need to either be on TikTok or on Instagram, because that's where I can do the connections with y'all with the video feed. So if y'all want to come on video so that I can talk to you guys, it has to be either through Instagram or TikTok. If you are on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, just know that I can only see your comments, but I can't technically bring you on video. So I won't be able to bring you on, but I can see your comments. So I know what you guys are asking. So that way y'all know I am seeing y'all's questions, okay? All right, so this is your chance to ask me whatever questions you want to ask me about. So they can either be a psychic question, or you can ask to connect with the loved one in spirit. If you're asking a psychic question, which means a life question, what do you want to know? And you got to be specific. Don't open it up to a full reading. I'm not going to be doing a 30-minute reading for you. So you have you have a very short window of time to ask me a question. So your questions need to be specific. If they're general or vague, I won't even see what you wrote. And vague or general questions are: do you have a message for me? What do you see? Tell me about my love life. Tell me about my finances. That's vague or general. I don't even waste my time with those kinds of questions, because I have no idea what you're wanting to ask me about, and that could take me into 1,000 different places in my head. You need to be specific. A specific question is: are me and Nick going to get back together? I am trying to get a new job. Am I going to get the new thing? Thank you for that. I'm trying to get a new job. Am I going to get that, that job, or is there something else coming along? Do you see me buying a house soon? When am I going to get married? When am I going to find somebody? Those are specific questions. So that's more of what I mean by specific. If you are wanting to connect with the loved one in spirit, who do you want to connect to? Because you might have a lot of people around you in spirit, and you only have so much time with me. So make it good. So if you want to connect with a specific person, just the person you want to connect to. You don't technically have to give me their name. I don't need their first name or anything like that. You can just say, my dad or my mom, or my uncle. So that's all you can just say that and so forth. Now you have more than one uncle or more than one, then at that point it opens it up to other people. So just FYI, but I don't need all that information, all that extra stuff. So you can just ask, like, you want to connect with your mom or whatever. If you are on, TikTok, Xena is going to post how you can request to be a video guest, and I will come and grab a few of you for video. If you're on Instagram, you just have to click the button at the bottom here and click that, and then you can request to be a video guest. It'll give you an option for doing so. If you're on TikTok, make sure you turn on your camera, because I like to interact with people. So make sure you turn on your camera. If you don't want to be on camera, you don't technically have to, but it's nice. It's nice for people to see who I'm talking to. So and you can do so through you have to set the edit thing. I think Christina will tell you how to do it, but there's a little edit or pencil or whatnot in the video that you have to adjust. Okay, so my statements are personal opinions, not guaranteed future events. Whatever decisions or actions you take in your life, you are, of course, 100% responsible and liable for them. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. And I am not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. You can still ask me those kinds of questions, but for legal medical advice or treatment, you should always consult with a licensed professional. Psychics do not see all or know all. Any psychic out there pretending like they know everything or see everything, they are scamming your asses. So we don't know everything or see everything. We only sense things. That's a big difference. It's a big distinction. Whenever we sense things, usually whenever I sense things, I tune into what I want to know, and I get my answers back in 3 ways. I get it in bits and pieces, but I get it back in 3 ways. I'm either going to see a visual or symbol in my mind that I probably need to interpret. I may feel some sort of emotion connected to your experience, which clues me into what kind of experience is going to be for you. I'm also going to have memories come up, because my brain is trying real hard to give me the answer to what I'm looking for. So it's going to use anything and everything to its advantage to help me understand what it is that I'm supposed to be sensing. So it'll use my memories and experiences with other people, with other situations in the past. And so my job is to take all that information or data and figure out what it means. When I connect with the spirit, it's not like they're standing right in front of me and I can see them. I don't hear them in my ear. We don't communicate that way. Spirits don't have the ability to communicate that way consistently. They can. There are people who have experiences where they manifest, but it takes a lot of energy and it's just very hard for them to communicate that way. So usually the best way to communicate to us is just through energy telepathy. And what they do is they essentially connect with our minds, right? And they have access to our thoughts, emotions, memories, bodies. And, well, I give them access, so they have access to me. And at that point, they have to trigger something. They have to trigger something or another. They have to trigger either a random thought, an emotion, a memory, or a sensation in my body. And my job is to figure out what that means. Sometimes just one piece of information is enough for me to figure out where they're going with it. So when I see a number, I normally associate numbers with dates. So either it would be like the month it represents or the day it represents, usually. It could represent other things, but usually when I think of numbers, I associate it with a date of significance. Birthdays, death dates, anniversary dates, either for you or for them. When they give me a name, they're going to try to give me the closest name I can get as possible. So if the name is, let's say someone's name is Shelly, and they don't give me Shelly, they give me Sheila or Shelby or Sharon or Shay. Like, that's still close enough. So just FYI, it's going to be as close to it as possible. And it's either their name, the name of someone that's with them in spirit that they're wanting to let us know about, or the name of someone that's alive that they want to acknowledge because we need to go into a conversation about that, or just to acknowledge the person. So that's it. That's pretty much how it works. Sometimes one piece of information from them is enough. Sometimes I have to put 2 or 3 pieces together to kind of formulate the message and figure out where they're going with it. Sometimes I never figure out what the message is during a reading, but the client may know exactly what I'm talking about, or they figure it out after the fact when they go back and they ask family because they may not know the answer themselves. So that happens all the time. So just FYI with that, okay? That's pretty much it. So yeah, so I'm not going in any particular order. For those of you on TikTok who don't have any patience because y'all have like a 30-second attention span, just FYI, I'm on here till like 6:30, so I'm on here for an hour and a half doing free readings. I do these every single Wednesday and Friday, same time, until I announce that I'm changing the time because of the time change. These are free, so y'all don't have to. Actually turned off on TikTok. I turned off the tips or whatever. People send you coins or money or whatever. I still haven't figured that out, but people are always sending me stuff, and I've noticed that they do that with people when they're psychic or mediums. Like, I'm going to send you this, now read me or whatever. I don't do that. This is completely free of charge. I do enough with my appointments. I don't need to charge for that. So this is all free. This is my way of giving back, okay? But for those of y'all on TikTok, y'all need to have some patience because I'm not going to get to y'all right away. I'm being on for an hour and a half. So I may not see your message or your question for another 30 minutes. So y'all need to figure that out, because if you can't handle that, then you'll just jump off of here because you're going to make yourself crazy and you're going to be like, why didn't he answer my question? It's been 30 seconds. Why didn't he answer my question? Because I ain't a fucking computer, y'all. I ain't a fucking robot. I can't operate that fast. I can't go that quickly. I'm a human being. I have limitations to what I can do. So just FYI, that's how I flow. That's how I roll. That's how I flow. If you're easily offended, y'all, because I do have, I cuss and I don't hold back. I try to deliver information appropriately, but I don't hold back. If you're easily offended, do not watch me because you're just going to hate me. Because I'm honest and I'm to the point. So just FYI, okay? All right, enough glorification of Ferny. Let me get into this. All right, so I'm not going in any particular order, so I'm going to just jump around here. And whenever I switch between TikTok and Instagram, y'all on YouTube and on Twitter and on Facebook will see that feed because I like watching the feeds whenever they're happening here. So, all right, let's go through here. Let's see. I'll do more psychic questions first through comments, and then I'll start going into mediumship and bringing people on for mediumship because I need to get my energy up to that level because I've just come out of appointments. So I usually am a little tired when I'm done with my appointments for the day. Kate to the Lopez, do you see me getting a job soon, Kayla? You might get 2 job opportunities, actually. There's 2 of them. One of them feels like it's either what you've just been doing or what you already have been doing. So it's like not that different. And it just may be with a different organization, but I don't feel like there's a big benefit or perk from it. I don't feel like there's a bit of a difference there. Then there's another job opportunity that may actually come with an educational organization that's tied to what you've done, what your background is in. So it's almost like there would be a school or an educational organization or university or something that would be tied to that. And then maybe another job. And that may also be something that's a little bit different, but it still would be not a bad thing for you. But these may come up. I want to say both of these opportunities may come up before September. So I'm going to say before the end of the year. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Janine. Hi, Ferny. I just got married. Congratulations. And my teenager daughters and I will be moving in with my new husband. How will it be all living together under the same roof? So I don't feel bad about the marriage, and I don't feel bad about the relationship. I do think the first year is going to take a little bit more patience. You may have to have a little patience just because there are going to be some things. Living together is a whole other ball game, and people just have to work through some of the hiccups that they have with each other. And I definitely think you're going to have some hiccups with your husband about just how he likes things versus what you're used to with the girls. But I do think it'll be fine. I actually think the girls, it'll work better. It'll work out better for them than it was before. So I actually think it'll be a better situation. But I think it'll be fine. But the first year is just going to take a little bit more effort. But I'm still thinking everything's fine after the fact. Um, let's see. So faking awesome through 2010. Hi, Fernie. My husband is having surgery soon. Do you see it going well? Um, yeah, I actually think it. Yeah, I actually feel good about it. Yeah, I feel like the procedure will go fine. And then he'll have a follow up. Actually, he might have two follow ups. One may be like within a few weeks after the procedure, and then one feels like it's a few months after. But I feel fine with it. So I feel like it will go. I feel it's going to go fine. Okay. Um, Gigi Zapata. Hi, Fernie. I wanted to know if I'll be okay going to a music festival by myself for the first time, and if I'm gonna have more concert experiences this year. I actually think it could be a lot of fun. Now, don't let yourself be pendeja and just trust everybody because it's a reality of the world. It's nice to be optimistic, but we live in the real world. This is why I wanted my sister to learn how to kickbox because if someone messes with her, I wanted to bust their asses so that way they regret the day that they even did anything. So I'm all about that. So what I would say to you is I want you to just before you go, because this is the parental part of my nature. Before you go, just look on YouTube and look at like some basic 3 or 4 self-defense maneuvers that you just can like get down. So that way that if you're in a situation that you're scared of, you can you're better prepared. I'm not saying anything's gonna happen because I'm actually seeing anything happening. But I do think that there might be someone that's there that's kind of drunk and they're being stupid or whatever. But I kind of feel like the people around you or around them are gonna kind of not really they'll be good with you. So I actually think you'll make some interesting friends. And there's one female that you might actually start to form a really good friendship with. It may not be all right away, but it feels like you'll stay in contact and then you'll be able to kind of turn it into more of a friendship. I do think there will be more concert experiences later this year, like around around October, November. Okay. Lisa, who? Do you see me buying or building a house in the future? I actually think you will build property. It'll be a new build though, so I don't even think it's going to be like you coming up with the architecture and everything by yourself. I think what's going to happen is you're going to end up going with like a new build. It's like in a division where it's like a new division. So it's like probably like a home developer that's building out properties. But I do think that you will buy property, but it may not be right away. I'm going to say this is about 2 years and 7 months. So almost 3 years from now. So it's going to be a while. Okay. So IVM, can you tell me what's going on with my relationship? We hit a few bumps and I feel unheard. Unheard is so. Two things with this. One is you have to be careful with the way you express yourself because sometimes what you may think is constructive may come across like it's whining or complaining or it's like saying this is not good enough. And I could see how easily that could be interpreted into you're thinking that I'm not good enough, or this is just not good enough, or you're just never happy, or and so it could come across that way, even though that may not be your intention, and you may not even think that that you're doing that. But just be aware, because there might have been some conversations that might have kind of like added fuel to the fire. I do think that with the relationship itself and its future, I kind of feel like the next 2 months or so are going to be a make or break period for the relationship, because I feel like at the end of a 2 month period, a choice has to be made about whether this is going to go further or not, because it feels like something is changing in the circumstances of one of y'all's lives. And what I mean by that, hypothetically, let's say you're in the process of moving at that time, or you're going to end up relocating or moving, or they're going to relocate or move. And then there's an opportunity to potentially like change the dynamics of the relationship and go to the next level. And so it's almost like, do we want to go further, or do we just, no, do we want to kind of, and I feel like if you don't end up living together or starting to move in that direction, that could actually be the opposite effect on the relationship, which is what I'm thinking is going to end up happening. So just FYI, the next 2 months are going to be a make or break period. At the end of a 2 month period, there's some decisions that have to be made, but you need to be careful with the way you're communicating, because it may not be coming across in the way that you think. And I also feel like this person's just not, I feel like they're not ready for more work, because I feel like they've got their hands full. They've got enough to be working on it with themselves. So I feel like they've got their hands full. I don't think they're ready for the next level. So I honestly don't think this person's ready for the next stage. So take it slower. Slow it down, take it slower, let them catch up to themselves, and then to ultimately to you. Okay? Let me switch over to another one. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's go over to Ticker Talkers. Ticker Talkers. Let's see. Lovely Kimberly, Cam 37. When will I move to Edmonton? Not for about 2.5 years. So this might take longer than you expect. See, here's an example of a general question that I just skip over when I see them. What do you see for me? I see you. I see herpes. I see the herpes, girl. So, I mean, when people ask that kind of question, what do you see for me? Literally, my brain can go in 1,000 directions. It's like an octopus. It's pulling at whatever's going to help it. And when you say, what do you see? Literally is not, it's like, officer, I have a case that you need to solve. Okay, what the hell is wrong? What happened, ma'am? You know, it's like, oh, I don't know. Like, whatever you think needs to be solved. Like, seriously, what's the question? What do you want to know? So that's an example of what I'm talking about, y'all. My girl, will my arm ever be the same? I feel like your arm will be, I feel like you'll get your arm back to where you want it to be at, almost, I want to say 75 to 80%. So not 100%, but about 70 to 80%. But it might take another couple of years, because I feel like there's some additional either treatment or therapy that you're going to do at the end of this year, actually, that might help to kind of line it up a little bit better. So I do think you'll get it pretty close to where you wanted to get it back to, but not perfect. It won't be perfect. Amber, future for Jack and I. I actually think it could go further. You just gotta, what may end up happening, and both of you may do this, but whenever people get upset sometimes in relationships and they just don't want to deal with it, or this is how I am. So for the fact that I'm in like a 13-year relationship already, like that's like good. Because if someone pisses me off and I feel like, you know what, you're just extra in my life that I don't need, and like might as well just like be done with it. My first immediate response is either to completely disconnect or to just end it and just be done with it, because that's just how I am. And so I have to talk myself out of that, because that's not really healthy for a relationship to go through, to where every time you get into a really heavy or hard situation or disagreement or whatever, you want to end it. But that's how I've been. So I had to work on that, and I've been working on that for years. Even my partner, I'm like, we're together for 13 years, so obviously I'm working on it. But for you, I feel like, Amber, I want to say one of you, possibly Jack, is not 100% over a past connection or relationship, where they're still either being affected by that person, or it's just still causing a lot of like internal stuff. But I also feel like both of you may have a tendency where if y'all get really upset or caught up in your feelings, then you push each other away. And so it's almost like magnets. You need to think of magnets when magnets come together and then they like push each other away. That's the way I feel about it. And so you'll have to work on that, especially in the next month and a half, because I feel like you're going to feel like they're pushing you a hell of a lot further away, or they're starting to become distant. And either you are going to have to get them to open up to tell you what's going on, which you may not like to hear. What you may not like to hear what they're going to say, but also you might just have to acknowledge that there's limitations to what you and Jack can have right now. Not forever, right now. So there is potential for future, but right now, this year is going to be a bit more challenging, and a lot of stuff needs to be kind of figured out in the summertime, especially for Jack. That may still be affecting them from a past relationship or connection. So just FYI with that. So you might just have to have patience with him. Daila, will I ever make amends with my brother? I think that you will, but not until you're a lot older. And when I mean a lot older, I mean like a lot older. Like Romeo and Michelle, like High School Reunion, when she's calling her and she's in her deathbed. Like that's what I'm talking about, a lot older. So I do think that there will be some resolution there, but it may not come until very, 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 very end later on. So it's I feel like it's gonna take a lot longer time, unless one of you reaches out or forces to reach out first. But even then, sometimes people aren't ready to work through, to like get past it. So, and I don't think it's time yet. But I think it's gonna just be not happen to the very butt end of your life. Okay. Again, another example of a general question that's not asking something specific. I really could use a reading. I just saw your question. You had an opportunity to ask me a question there. I could have seen it and answered it for you. So you got to ask a specific question, or you're missing your opportunity here. Jennifer Tran. Hey Ferny, when do you see me getting a new job? Anything I should look out for? Yeah. This might be in about 7 months, so it's gonna take a while. I want to say that it has to do with a company organization that deals with I could say sporting industry, but it feels like that's too general. I want to go further than that. I want to say this has to do with systems integration, or systems integrations, or systems operations. Systems and operations that has to do with a sporting venue organization. What I mean by venue is like when you think of like these big, huge, like the Astrodome, or like, all these like places that sports are played at. So I'm thinking of that, but it might not be, it might be like the building or like the structure of it, like not the actual like, oh, I work there. It's more like, oh, I'm in the process. I'm a part of this company and we're pretty much building this thing. So there may be something that's connected to that may come up that may completely be something different than what you didn't expect. Because I keep seeing you looking at systems and then wearing a hard hat. So I'm thinking that this is a part of the construction process. Okay. Ariel, what career should I look into? Well, I can't tell you what you should do because that's your job. I can only tell you what I feel will end up happening. I got enough responsibilities in my life to tell people what they should be doing. But there's two things that I would recommend for you. One is, interestingly enough, I keep thinking of counselors. So if you have an opportunity to, and if you've had an interest or you desired to go into counseling or into work where it's like social services work or counseling or anything like that, I think that's one thing that might actually be a good option for you. But then I also keep seeing crisis centers and community services and community centers. So I'm seeing something like that as well. So I want to put both of those together because I feel like this might be tied to something like that. And I feel like this may come up for you early next year. So this may be something you start to go in the direction of or get into by early 2023. Okay. Let's see. Giselle, will I be able to conceive Rolando's baby naturally? I want you to go get go see your gynecologist or your doctor, and ask about fibroids, because you might have some fibroid related issues that you need to address first. That's more important than the baby. I kind of don't want you to go and get pregnant, and then you find yourself, because I feel like you can get pregnant, but I feel like I don't want you to go and get pregnant, and then you have these fibroids that start to complicate the pregnancy, and then you are like, shit, I should have dealt with that before. So go and get your uterus checked, your insides checked, and see if you've got issues with fibroids before you get pregnant, because I feel like that would make things a little easier if you do end up getting pregnant. I do think it's possible to get pregnant though. As of right now, I'm not seeing a baby right now, this hot minute, but I am seeing the likelihood of baby energy probably in the second half of next year, 2023. Okay, if y'all stick it out that long, that's giving you a clue or a hint of stuff. But yeah, give it a go. But go to the doctor first, because I would rather have you checked out first before you consider that. Trisha, will my marriage get better? Trisha Gomez. The way that I feel about this, Trisha, is I feel like y'all are going to go through two major rounds of trying to make it better. And I feel like after the second round, I kind of just feel like it's just like a downward path with the relationship, and I don't feel confident about its future. And it feels like it's just going to be you. It's almost like that person's already checked out. You're something never at that point would have been mentally checked out, and it's going to feel like you're just the one that's kind of holding on. So just FYI, it just feels like I almost feel like the first the first time, that first period may have already happened. You might be going through the second period at this point. I'm still, like, when I scan ahead, like looking at the rest of this year, I'm still seeing the relationship. I'm still seeing the marriage. I want to say if there's going to be any major changes for the marriage and like legal filings, I want to say that it probably won't happen until late spring or early summer 2023. Okay, but it's possible to work through it, because that second period is when that would be the opportunity to. I'm just not feeling confident that y'all be able to work through it. And it's going to feel like you're the one carrying the relationship. Asked by White Girl. Well, I moved to a different home. I want to say yes. This might be within 5 to 7 months. I want to say 5 to 6 months, but I'm going to say 5 to 7 months. Okay? So yes. Again, here's another example of a general question that has no context, and I have no idea what they're talking about. What should I expect to happen by the end of this year? Well, at the end of the year, there's Christmas, so you might be getting presents. Like, I can be a smart ass, but you're not going to get your question answered. So you got to be specific, because you're wasting your time. Okay, let me go back over here. Let's see. People are gonna be like, Ferny's an asshole. I'm not an asshole. I'm just like making it simple for y'all. I'm making it super simple. Don't complicate it. Don't make your life don't make your life worse by not following the instructions. Just follow the instructions. You'll get it. You'll get it. Jessica Vasquez. Is Earl and I get back together? Are you and Earl going to get back together? No, I'm not thinking so. Y'all may be able to have a one-off, but I'm not really thinking there's going to be a back together vibe there. Okay. And Helika Melanie. Hey, Ferny, do you see me in a relationship this year? No. No, not this year. May next year. May 2023. You might be in a relationship by then. Okay. PA is the name, I think. The name of the person's name. I think it starts with a PA. Yeah. Melanie Padilla. Any messages from my brother? He passed away in March. There might be a picture because you showed me this image. When I was a kid, my mom took me to like the local park in our neighborhood, and you know they have a seesaw, that thing that goes like this, and there's a little hole, like there was a little hole in like the base of it, and I went and put my finger there, and I couldn't get my finger out; it was stuck, and it was because the thing was on the one side, so it like put pressure. And so I started crying because I couldn't get my finger out. My mom freaked out and panicked because I was just a kid. So she came up and she was like freaking out because she thought they were gonna have to cut off my finger. And then when they moved the thing, it came pressure when the pressure released. He's showing me the seesaw. So I don't know if there's a special picture of y'all as kids and like y'all are on a seesaw. Or if there's a reference to getting the seesaw and you have a seesaw now. But there's something like that because he's showing me something like that. He's also shown me the number. Thank you. I know you just mentioned because you just said some things. You said he passed away in March, right? So that's the 3. But he also showed me another 3. So either there's, I want to say there's a 30 actually. So the 30th of a month may be significant. So just FYI, because I'm seeing the 30th also. So the 30th of a month may also be important or significant as well. He's also doing this. So I don't know if y'all made shirts for him or if you're planning on doing something with his shirts because he's doing this. So there's a reference to this as well. He also shows me the number 2, which would be February or the 2nd of a month. So there may be a reference to that, or I'm misinterpreting, and it's 2 shirts that he's acknowledging that they were made. So just FYI with that as well. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Thomas Bailey Cassiana. Hi, do you think I will ever get married again? I do actually. It might take about 5 or 6 years, but I do. I think you'll get married again. Let's see, Suzanne. Suzanne Culver. Hello, dear. Please, how much longer do you see my recovery? I'm in, and then it's like I can't. I don't know what you're saying. You were right. All precious one. How long is the pain gonna? How long is you gonna deal with the recovery? I actually think it's gonna take another couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks before you really start to see the shift. So, give it another couple of weeks, and then I think you'll start to be through the brunt of it. Okay. By the way, guys, if y'all get messaged by anyone, either on TikTok, on Instagram, or on all the other platforms, there are people going around duplicating my page. What they're doing is they're doing Ferny ESP and they're adding crap to it. So Ferny ESP or Ferny ESP, those are my only pages on each platform. I only have one page on each platform. So Ferny ESP, if you see Ferny ESP 1, dash Ferny ESP, underscore Ferny ESP, Ferny ESP 02. Those are not me. Those are scammers. They are going around. They are private messaging people. Hello, my beloved. I'm drawn to you. They are talking in ways that I don't even talk. I don't talk like that. But they're messaging people, private messaging people, and they're asking them if they want a reading. And then people are super excited because they think that I'm actually going to be giving them a reading. And then they have them. So already that's a kicker, right? Because I'm like, that's suspicious. That's suspect. On my bio on Instagram and on some of these other platforms, it specifically says I do not private message people and ask if they want a reading or ask them for donations or money. I don't do that. That's a scammer. Beware of page duplicates. People inevitably still think that they're being messaged by me. And so they are reaching out to me trying to confirm, and it says it in my bio. If it's this, it ain't me. And I also now I'm putting out a weekly notification, and I notice that everybody, hey, guess what? If you get messaged by somebody, this is not me. So just so y'all know, that is not me. Those are scammers. They've made a lot of money on people. And then people are falling for it. Like they're literally falling for it. They get excited. They can fall for it. But then when they're like, can you, direct message, can you cash app me? And then they give them an email that has Cassandra Leon at gmail.com. And they're like, they don't even question that. I'm like, seriously? Like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing? And so I'm like, y'all, I need people to get smarter and to not be so trusting in that instance, because I don't conduct business outside of my website. My website's the only place to do business. So you have to go through my website. Everything I do on social media and I post and do all this stuff is all free. So I don't go messaging y'all, asking y'all to pay me for a reading, because I do this for free here. So there's no point in that. So that's why I'm like, if you want to spend time with me or private reading, get your butt to my website and book an appointment. That's the only way you're going to get that private time with me. So, because people are making a killing. I mean, they're making a killing. I can't do anything about it. I've reported it. I keep reporting it. It's the same scammer who keeps changing their name. And they have like 1,000 and something followers, and I'm pretty sure they're bots. But they're still like scamming people, and people buy into it. So, Kimberly, Bobby and I, soulmates? No, you're not soulmates. Your soulmate didn't come into this lifetime with you, so that's not your soulmate. Y'all were siblings in a past life, so y'all do have a past life connection, but y'all aren't soulmates. Okay. Okay. Jump over to Instagram. Okay, there we go. Steph Simps one. Stephanie, will I be moving soon? When? Actually, yeah, you might be moving within a couple of months. I want to say this is probably though, like, I don't think this is in April, but I want to say this is probably towards it's either the second to the last week in May or the last week, I'm thinking, but it's like around that time frame is what I'm thinking. So I do think you might be moving soon. Taylor, will a romantic relationship begin with JQ? I don't feel like they're really wanting a relationship, and they're just not really invested. So I'm not feeling confident about a relationship with them. Uh, Kellen or Keelan? Hope I said that correctly. 19. Hi, Ferny. Will I be successful in my new position at work? I actually think you'll do fine. After, I want to say after the first year and 5 months or so, there's a shuffle or reorg, which might trigger a bunch of changes and might freak you out a little bit. But I don't think that you're going to be negatively impacted, and I still think it'll work to your advantage, or it may still be fine. So I'm thinking that it won't be something you have to worry about, but you might get pretty comfortable by that point. But I think it's going to take about a year and 5 months before you start to see that reorg starting to happen. And it's one of two reorgs, because there's a first reorg within the organization or company, and then there's a second reorg that may be required for whatever reason. So. Let's see. Ms. Ziggles. Eva. You can say Eva. I feel, oh, that's pretty. Just all the flowers with butterflies on the thing. So distracting. Eva, I feel someone trying to contact me from the other side. What is their message? I feel like what you're experiencing is not a spirit from the other side. I feel like what you're experiencing is a version of yourself in a different form, or in a formless state. So what happens sometimes in life is when some of us here are not just like individualistic, or we're just focused in one form. Some of us are kind of like bouncing around a little bit. So when you run into people who have conditions, like my mother's a schizophrenic, and so she's got some of that going on. Sometimes people who are going through dementia or having Alzheimer's, they're half here, half there. People who are in comas, half here, half there. And so sometimes when you run into personalities or certain types of conditions, people's energy tends to kind of be scattered, or can be very much layered in how they exist in this reality. So they're here, but then there's versions of them that kind of are operating from different levels as well. And so what I feel you're experiencing is, I don't feel like this is actually another individual separate from you. I actually think this is a version of you that you're starting to have awareness of, because you're becoming a bit sensitive. And sometimes when we're not handling things properly, or when we're not coping well, or we're going through just a lot of garbage and crap in our lives, we don't always deal with stuff in the way we need to, and it builds and builds and builds, and then it starts to fragment into these other forms as well. So I feel like what you might be picking up on, or what you may be experiencing, may not actually be a spirit trying to get your attention. It may be you experiencing yourself in these different spectrums. Okay. Kara, when will my husband and I conceive? It's been 9 cycles with no luck, 3 years since our loss. Yeah, give it a couple of years. I know, I wish I could say it's like right away, but I feel like this might take another couple of years. So I feel like it's going to take a couple more years. I also think, interestingly enough, early next year, 2023, you might actually consider a new type of treatment or option where it essentially increases some things in your system that make it likelier to occur. I don't think you go through the process of like IVF, but I don't think you're gonna end up having to do all that, like with what I'm talking about with when you get pregnant, and with the treatment that I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like almost like a more natural thing. So I feel like you're just gonna end up going to go through this other treatment early next year, which kind of increases certain things in your body, and then it makes it easier for you to actually be able to get pregnant. So I do think that there will be assistance with the process, but I feel like it may take another couple of years before one of those cycles takes. Okay. Desiree, do you see my health getting better? A couple of things. You need to go check your hormones, because I feel like your hormones might be contributing to your condition. So your pancreas is an area to pay attention to. I also feel that your immune system's been like hit, and it's not having the easiest time recouping. So there might be some issues that are also affecting you with your immune system. Give it about 5 months or so, because I do feel like in about 5 or 6 months, there's like a rebooting that's starting to happen. But I also see a lot more nutrients coming into your system as well, possibly even infusions that might help with the process. Okay. Yeah. Um, Raylan is canceled. Hello, I've recently come out to a few people, but I haven't come out to my mother, and I feel like this is holding me back from being in a relationship. Will I be able to come out to my mother? Yes, you will. I think it's still going to take some time. I almost feel like your mom may already suspect some things, but I think the end of this year, you maybe get pretty close to actually telling her more or sharing some more information. But I also feel like your mom may not be 100% prepared or ready to hear it. I'm not saying you shouldn't tell her yet. I'm just saying you're going to have to do it in stages. I think that because what I feel happens is by the end of this year, I think you actually end up pretty much putting it out there. But she may not 100% be ready for it. And then I think by the end of next year, you're in a relationship, because I see you in a relationship with somebody in the next year, and your mom's going to be getting used to that person. And she may actually end up liking that person. So it may actually work. It may work out better than you expect. When I came out to my mom, it was kind of on a dare. because I wasn't planning on telling anybody nothing. I wasn't say shit to nobody. I was like, I'm gonna live my life, be separate from the family, and I live my life because Hispanic Catholic family, you just don't. And I actually got shut down several times by family. So telling my cousin Monica was the hardest for me because she meant the most to me in my life at that time, and she thought I was just going through a phase. And I'm like, well, I'm graduating high school. I don't know how long of a phase I'm going through. I hit puberty 10 years ago. So that wasn't a phase. And then I told my cousin Jennifer, which was my closest cousin at the time, and she was like, "Oh, what?" But then she's a lesbian, so it worked out for the both of us. Because when we were kids, we used to play Barbie and Ken, and I was Barbie and she was Ken. So that should have been a tipper there. When I told my mom I was on the phone with my friend, and he was like, what are you afraid of? Why don't you tell your mom? Why don't you tell your mom? If you think she's going to accept you, if you think she will accept you, why don't you tell her? And I was like, fine, fine. I don't. And so I said, Mom, yeah, I'm like, I'm gay. She's like, what? And I said, I'm gay. And she's like, nah, for real? Nah, for real, mijo? And she was like, so she didn't believe it at first, but then once she knew I was serious, she's like, well, I love you and you're my son and I'm gonna have to love you for who you are. So I love you no matter what. And so I was like, cool. And that was it. That was the end of it. So that went a lot better than I was expecting. My step grandmother, who pretty much raised me because I never knew my actual grandmother, she passed before I was born. When I tried to tell her, she came at me. I was in the middle of telling her, like I wanted to tell her about my life. And she said, no me dices más, ya no me digas. And she told me in Spanish, she's like, don't tell me anymore. Don't tell me anymore. I don't, I don't want to know. And I don't want you to ruin the idea of you in my mind, of what I have of you. So I don't want you to ruin that idea and to break my heart. So don't tell me. And so I didn't tell her. And she said she wanted to remember me as I was and not what I was trying to tell her. So that broke me. I was like, whoa. And after that, because before that, she had been asking me when I was going to come and visit her, because she wanted to keep in contact because I was living somewhere else. So I was making an attempt to come and visit her, and that was the first time I was really spending time with her. And then that happened. And after that, I was like, well, you get what you pay for, and if you're not willing to invest in who Ferny is, then you don't get the benefit of who Ferny will be. So no, end of story. And so that was that time. And then I have an aunt who pushed me away from the family. And recently, out of nowhere, I wasn't expecting this. She came back and she had a chance to talk to me, and she said, I want you to know that I'm sorry for putting you through that and for pushing you away. And I was wrong, and you weren't wrong. And I was the one that I just didn't know any better, and I was raised differently. And I love you, and I accept you for who you are, and you never did anything wrong for me to treat you the way I did. And I was like, I did not expect that. Like I didn't even ask for that. I was just like, okay, thank you, Thea. I appreciate that. But it was nice to hear that. So be who you are. Be who you are, and fuck everybody else. And I'm like chit chatting away, but I mean, some of you might be hearing some of this and may be holding off, and maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. It's exhausting pretending to be someone you're not. It really is exhausting. It's like it hurts you in the stomach pretending to be someone that you're not. Noe, Noe GF. Please, Bernie, do you think it will be a good move for my husband to take this new job in Florida? So nervous about my girls moving. I actually think the job itself will be fine. I actually think it'll be a really good thing for them. I don't think y'all will stay in Florida for very long. I honestly think y'all will only be in Florida for about 2 months. I mean, 2 months. I'm sorry, 2 years, 2 years, and then you'll be moving again to the upper northeast coast. I don't know where you are, but if you're in the upper northeast coast, then you'll be moving back. But if you're not and you're somewhere else or in Houston, Florida, 2 years, and then going up closer to where DC is at. So I only think y'all will be in Florida for 2 years. I think the girls will be fine. The youngest one though, she's gonna be a bit of a handful. So and that, I don't think it has anything to do with the move. I think that she's just gonna be a handful. So you need to prepare for that. Okay. Let's bring somebody on, shall we? Because we're getting to that time. All right. Let's see.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Hello
I'm
from Canada.
I'm good. How are you doing, sweetheart?
Stressed. There's a lot going
Oh,
on right now, but
no.
I'm moving in 5 weeks.
Hmm.
I'm moving back home with my parents, and I'm just like, oh, is this the right thing? Like,
Yeah.
what's next? Like, what to expect? Like, I'm so nervous going back home because it wasn't the greatest energy to kind of grow up in, and I'm like nervous about like my mental health and my state, but yet I feel like I need people.
I think it's not going to be like when you were a kid, but I also don't think
Yeah,
it's going to be a preferred because your feeling of your sense of freedom is not going to feel you have the sense of freedom, so you're not going to like it. I don't
yeah.
see you there longer than 7. I think 7 months is the longest you might be there. But
Okay,
a year is when I'm seeing a move happening, so I want to say you
okay,
before a year's up, but after 7 months.
okay. Is that, will I be like moving in with someone or is it just
Uh,
going back
where,
on my
where's
own?
where's where's this at? Your parents? Where are they at?
They're in Brampton, just outside of Toronto.
Okay, they're right outside of Toronto.
Yeah,
I feel like this is going to be, you might be right back in Toronto. So I don't think you're going to stay outside of Toronto. I feel like you're going to move back,
in the city.
yeah, in the city. I also feel like
Yeah,
first move back is a also temporary move. It does feel like a
yeah.
roommate situation, but I wouldn't say it's a roommate situation like a love interest. It feels more like a friend or like someone
Mm.
you have some professional association with that works out pretty well.
Okay,
And then after a year, you'll get your own.
okay.
Mhm.
Um, like love wise, is there anything on the horizon this year or am I just focusing still on me?
Love wise,
Hmm.
you might talk to someone who either
Yeah.
pilot or works for an airline company,
Oh, okay.
but it doesn't feel consistent. So that may just throw you off and be like, they're like, I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah,
So, but it might be fun just to talk with. I mean, I like attention, so talking to people, getting
yeah,
like I love flirting. Like flirting's the biggest thing for me, guys.
yeah.
If you want, if y'all want readings and y'all try to get my attention, get a cute guy to ask the question or to like approach me. Oh, who's this cute guy? Who's watching me? But I would say, as far as like relationship, I think it's going to be about 2 years, maybe 2 years, 3 months, 2 years, 4 months before
Yeah,
we get into something more serious. I do think, however, the
yeah.
relationship is going to be turned to, so it feels like it's going to be a marriage.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm just having a quick surgery soon. Hopefully, I'm hearing about a lazy eye. Is that going to work out okay?
Yeah, I want to say,
It's like random to have it at like older when you're old. Oh, I just said my age.
yeah,
Shit. Sorry.
you do not look 40, girl. You look fine. And
Fuck.
I had you never said anything because I still don't see what you're talking about. I'm like, well, she must be
Okay.
attention. She must be measuring her eyeball. I think that with the procedure, I think it'll be fine. What's going on is I feel like there's something that's inhibiting the nerve to kind of affect the eye, and that's what's kind of needing to be. So it's like going to be a bypass or just adjust or just kind of cut through, so that way it allows it to happen.
Yeah. There's only like two professionals in Toronto, so I'm waiting to hear from one of them, and I'm like freaking out because I'm like, when I have glasses on, it's like it's so like self-conscious, and I'm just so nervous about it, but
It will be
that's all right. As long as
there will be a wait for the procedure, but I think it'll be fine.
it'll be fine. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, my dear.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
Sending love from Canada.
All right, you take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, let's see. Let's go to, let's see, 40. I was like, girl, she looks young and beautiful. What's she talking about? She says, it does not look that age. I'm actually about to be 40 in a few weeks. So I think what gives it away is my grays, because I have some grays up in here. You can't see them because my hair is wet, but when it's not wet, you can see all the grays. And then also my little like crow's feet, and then the bags under my eyes sometimes when I'm like, because I'm dead tired sometimes. So you can tell from that. All right, let's see. Let's go here. I'm a Taurus, by the way. I'm a Taurus. Hello. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
Good. This is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Quite. Before you mention anything, if you start to have a lot of spasming of your back, you're kind of too young to be having that. It might have to do with the muscles and how the muscles are lining up a little bit oddly because of where your back is like kind of leaning towards. So you might need to follow that up with a practice to get that adjustment. It might loosen up some of those muscles.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. All right, love. What do you want to ask me
Um,
about?
Um, does my father have a message for me? I don't know. So I just want to know if he's there, if he's around me.
Mhm. Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes with feeling their presence, it's usually due to two things. If it's been a while, over time, their energy just gets higher into the spectrum with the spirit world, and so it's just harder and harder to connect to this level. Just divide between our level and their level. The reason is because if we've got a lot of like mental energy lower in our vibratory state, that we're all constantly worried, or we feel sad, or we feel hopeless, or anything that's lower level, it will act as a block and a wall for their energy, their high. So we have to come into a place to allow that open they can communicate. So that's usually the reason why it comes through. But with that, me the 20th, for the 20th connected.
I'm sorry, you got jumbled up a little bit
Yeah,
there.
20th is connected because I'm seeing two. The 20th of
I think, is that better?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, definitely. Now I do.
Cool. Yeah. I'm seeing the 20th. Do you know if the 20th of a month is significant?
Yes, that was my father's birthday.
Perfect. So he's just confirming that he's with you and he's giving me his birthday. He also keeps acknowledging thank you. Do you know if there's a picture? I don't even know what this would be called. You remember? I know sometimes in Great Britain they do this where they wear these little paper crowns for a birthday, but I'm also seeing those like Burger King crowns as well. Do you know there's a picture of like either him wearing a crown or you're with him in the picture and you're wearing that crown? That's like a paper or like a paper crown.
I remember Burger King.
Okay.
One
And
of those.
so the Burger King picture. Okay, so that's probably what he's referring to is the Burger King picture. So he's referencing that. He also keeps it. Thank you. Laura. Do you know there's a Laura sounding name that's connected to the family?
On my husband's side, she's living. She's a cousin.
Got it. Your father-in-law, is he also passed?
No.
Okay. There's a male on your husband's side who's probably trying to pop into the conversation, who's connected to them as well, who's connected to that side of the family. So there was a male on that side who may have passed away probably in the last year or two, who may be just trying to acknowledge themselves that they're there and they're tying themselves into that part of the family. So just FYI, they may have had a fast passing or a cardiac event with that person. With your dad, do you know if before your dad passed, if he was having difficulty with his fingers or one of his fingers was kind of weird?
He passed away when I was a teenager, and I don't know of that.
Do you know if he ever had I was gonna sound ugly, but do you know if he ever accidentally cut his finger off with like machinery or with like tools?
He cut it off, but he did cut his finger significantly.
Got it, because he's acknowledging that. So he's just what he's doing. He's trying to show me all these little minor details. Your dad says he loves you. He does say he's proud of you. He also says that he's been watching you consistently. Yellow flowers, like sunflowers, are going to be a sign or a symbol from him, and also ladybugs. So to look out for those as well. So both of those are going to be signs from him.
One just landed on me the other day.
Perfect. That's a sign from your dad. So that's going to be connected to him. And then the yellow flowers, like sunflowers as well. He also, thank you. Mickey, Minnie, Manny, Mickey. Do you know there's a Minnie, Mickey, Manny sounding name or nickname?
On my husband's side, my mother-in-law had a sister named Minnie.
Okay. You got a bunch of people on his side who are trying to pop in and just let themselves know that they're here or they're present. So just FYI, they just want to be acknowledged. But your dad is with you, sweetheart. He's with you.
Thank you.
You're
now, just one small question. Now that I have your ultimate presence, I had a stillborn. Is his presence with me?
Did you have a baby after the stillborn?
I had him, he had passed when I gave birth to him. So he had already passed.
Right. After he passed, did you have another child?
I did.
Yeah, because the stillborn child came back. So one of your children or one of the kids that you had after the stillborn actually is the child that came back.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. They're like, I got to get in here. She's got to be my mom. And so what happens is if it doesn't work out or something happens, they will recycle and they'll try to come back in again. So I feel like one of the children born after your stillborn child is actually the stillborn child.
Oh, that's wonderful.
All
Thank
right,
you so much.
you're welcome,
You're,
sweet.
and God bless.
Oh, God bless you too, sweetheart.
Bye-bye now.
Bye, mama. Okay, so let me jump over to TikTok. Let's get this switched over. All right, going over to TikTokers. So who's coming on here? Let's see. Got people lining up. Let's see. You might have to turn on your camera because it's only showing just like a profile picture.
I know I'm trying. How we can turn it on?
And I think it's like a little edit. I think it's a little edit button or a little pencil, and then once you click it, it'll give you the option of switching it on.
Damn, it's not giving me, and I'm pissed now.
No, that's okay. If you click on if you click on my picture, that may give you the option. I think. I'm trying to remember how it was done.
I don't want to lose that call.
Oh, that's okay. I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm clicking on mine. I have to click pop on you.
Yeah, try clicking mine and see if mine gives you an option to push an additional
No.
button. No? That's okay. That's
No.
okay. No
Sorry.
worries. No worries. Yeah, it's usually like a little edit button at the top corner or it's like a little pencil. And that's the button that you're looking for, I believe. So.
Since multi-guest and try. Okay, I got it.
Oh, yes, you got it. Yay.
Yo,
What was the button? What was the button?
No, it was, you have to go to the multi. Your moderator was like trying to tell me and I picked her quickly.
Oh, perfect. Got it. All right, Megan. Well, what would you like to ask me about?
I like to ask about my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
So he passed away like a couple of years ago. So I just want to
Yeah.
know that he's still with us. Any messages or something like that?
Yeah, before he passed away, do you know if either a few weeks or, I want to say a few weeks before he passed away, do you know if he had been having symptoms that were reminiscent of like a stroke or seizure?
He has like some kind of asthma thing, like
Okay.
shortness of breath.
What he's showing me when I'm thinking of your grandfather, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing something that reminds me of like a seizure or something that reminds me of like a seizure or a stroke where there's like something that's clotted and then it triggers this to kick
Yes.
here. Do you understand
Yeah, like
that?
he came home and then he was fine and all of a sudden he just passed away. So it's like a sudden cardiac arrest.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I feel like there was something going on right before he passed that was an indicator this was going to be happening. I also feel that he do you know if he had talked about having a dream with someone who had passed away or having a dream about someone else who had passed away right before he passed or mentioned that to your family?
I don't know. Actually, I was in USA and he was in his country.
Okay.
So we hardly used to talk. So that I don't know about the dream for sure.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say, because what he's telling me is that there was a dream that he had right before he passed that made him wonder, and he might have even mentioned it to someone. Like, I had a dream about my mother, and I saw her, and she said I can come home. Yeah. So he's just acknowledging and making reference to that. He also keeps showing me. Thank you. He's showing me a white flower. Do you know if there's a white petal or flower next to a picture of him?
I don't even have a picture, but he used to have, I remember, it used to have like a crystal flower. It's just like the holder. He used to have it in his desk most of the time.
Okay. Was this kind of like a whitish color?
But clear.
No, that's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing a picture of him, and either he's got white flowers around his picture, or there's a white flower right next to his picture. But there's like a white flower. It's very white. It's almost like, I don't know if I don't think it's a rose. It's a different type of flower, but it's white.
Okay.
But showing me something like this. Baba. Do you know there's a nickname
Baba?
Baba?
Yeah, I used to call I call my father Baba.
Okay. So he's just acknowledging your father's still alive though, right?
Yes, he is.
He just wants to acknowledge your father and say hello to your father. So he's making reference to this. He can eat a lot more now. So I don't know if he was not having the easiest time eating before he passed away, but he's like making me feel like he's eating a whole lot more now, or able to enjoy food now.
He used to be a good eater.
Yeah,
He
because
used
he's
to be a
like
good
really
eater.
just digging in because he's wanting to make sure I see that as well. He also keeps acknowledging. Thank you. Do you know if he was ever involved in either the writing of a document or in
Oh
the writing?
yes, he
Because
used
he's
to
showing me a
write.
bunch of
So yeah, he used to
okay,
write. Yes, he
okay. Do
do.
you also know
Yeah.
that he ever contributed articles to like a local
Yes, he
publication?
do contribute in articles too.
Okay,
Yes, he
because
used
he
to do
told me
it.
the
Yes,
contribution to the
he was a
articles. He's very
scientist.
opinionated. Yeah, he's very opinionated
Very
with
opinionated. Yes.
what he understands. And he actually education is so important because
Oh
for him it's
yes.
like if you have no education, you are worth nothing. Is how he feels. So it's
Yes,
almost like
he
you
was
must
like
have
that.
education.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's
He
very
his for
set in
him
his
education was very important. Yes, you are
yes,
right.
he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps acknowledging. Thank you. um, he's funny. He's laughing. He says, "I don't know how you're doing this, but you're doing this." He's laughing. He's talking to me though. Funny. I was like, "That's okay." So I don't know if he thought a lot about this, and he was very much like, "This is just like foolery or magic," or didn't believe in these kinds of things.
Yeah.
But he's very much like he's like, "I don't know how you're doing this, but you're doing this." I'm like, "Well, I know that." So he's just acknowledging it for me that.
Right.
He loves you. He's with you, sweetheart. Dragonflies are a sign from him. So you may have dragonflies landing or flying in weird ways around you. That's a signal from him. So look out for these dragonflies that will come around and spend time
Does
with
he
you.
have any message from my mom?
As far as your mom is concerned, he's putting his hand over his mouth. Was she not also there for him, or was she not there when he passed away?
No, she was not there.
He says it's okay. He understands. I'm not sure if she had planned on going, but just it did never happen. He says he does not want her to worry. He says he wants her to have a happy and good life. He also says that she does not need to use him as an excuse to not be happy or to do well. He says that she needs to stay focused on her responsibilities and to manage what is her tasks and her responsibilities daily. He says she needs to stick to this. He also says, thank you. There's a lavender scent that is going to be connected
Yeah,
to
he
him.
used to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, so she might smell that from time to time. That's his sign to her.
Okay. Any message from
Okay.
my father?
For your father, it's funny. He just shakes his hand. So he just shakes his hand. That's pretty much what he does. So he's just shaking his hand. He also, thank you. He shouldn't take big risks with his money. So if your father's wanting to make some investments or he's looking into something risky, it says to not take the big risks with money. He needs to be careful.
He needs to be careful.
Yeah.
Any message in journal from him from me? He
Yeah,
used to be
he's-
very, very attached with me for some
Yeah,
reason.
he is acknowledging. Thank you. Was there a wedding after his passing?
My wedding?
Oh, I don't know. Did you get married after his passing?
No, no. I'm divorced. Somebody
No,
get wedded? No.
He's acknowledging a marriage. So he's acknowledging a marriage after his passing. So either
Okay.
someone is engaged or there's a wedding coming into the family soon, because he's acknowledging a
Okay.
marriage after his passing. So if there hasn't been a wedding, there's a wedding coming up or a marriage coming up fairly soon.
Okay.
Okay. He says, don't be too hard on yourself.
I know.
Yeah, you can't. Sometimes you're just a smarter one.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. All right, my dear.
Thank you so much. God bless
You're
you.
welcome, my dear.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, going to another person. Oh, let me get myself. Oh, I'm itchy. I'm getting itchy. Why am I getting itchy? Like we're another drink here. Hello.
How are you?
Hi,
I'm
sweetheart.
so happy.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
how you
I
doing,
just walked
sweetheart?
by Faye's and-
FYI, there's baby energy around you. So if you're not intending to get pregnant or trying, be
Wow.
careful.
I have a baby right here.
No, this is like
No.
this year, like in a few months. Be careful.
Oh, that's exciting though.
Yeah. So just FYI, in case you're not intending to, like there might be baby energy around you.
Okay, that's
Okay.
good to know. I know you're not a baby. Okay, so I wanted to ask you. I know you do like the mediumship.
Mhm.
I have two questions. So I have a relationship question, and I would like to connect with my uncle.
Yeah. So let's go to the relationship question first. What did you want to ask me about the relationship?
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I want to know, is my relationship with Jordan going to work out, and will there be an engagement?
The relationship with Jordan. So some people you kind of just have to like push them and nudge them a little bit because they have their own ideas and they kind of let that like interfere. When I
Yeah.
think of the relationship with Jordan, I keep seeing my sister and her husband. Before they got married, she kind of just he wanted more, and she was like, not until you put a ring on this finger. And so she kind of had to nudge him, but it worked out. So what I would say with Jordan is you may just have to be patient with him. 2.5 years. How long have you been together?
3 years.
Okay.
On
So
and off.
I feel like the relationship with him can work out. It's just going to take a lot longer than you expected. And if you wanted to go to the next stage, it may take 2.5 years.
Okay.
And if, just FYI with that. Also, the baby energy would be connected to that. So just FYI with that.
Okay.
If you decide you don't want to wait, there's a potential new relationship opportunity for you in January or February of next year, and it would be a setup. Someone would be setting you up with someone that they would have wanted to connect you with.
You're not the first person to say that exact date and situation. Do you feel that it's, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like not worth it because I put so much into my relationship. Like, do you feel that we're on the same level with emotions?
No.
For each other?
Mm-mm. But who the hell needs to be on the same level? I mean, yeah, if I wanted to date myself, that would be great. But I'm not dating myself. I'm dating my partner. And me and my partner are two very different people. I'm the more affectionate, the more like nurturing personality. He's more like standoffish or just like, I don't know what to do. When I'm crying and I'm freaking out, like he's just like, I don't know what to do with you, So
right. And that's
the
how
energy.
he is.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like, it's understandable. People are different. I think the problem that I think a lot of us in society at this point, we're so brainwashed into the idea that we have to be with perfect people or people who have perfect ways of dealing with stuff in life or they approach things like I'm like this we're all humans. Like, I'm not going to be perfect when I go into a relationship. Person's not going to be perfect when they go into a relationship. So what I would say with Jordan is I think that there is potential for a future together. But when I think of your relationship with Jordan, I'm reminded of a cousin of mine. He and his wife have been together for like almost 40 years, but they don't have the healthiest relationship. It's not the least toxic. And in the beginning, they were just crazy. So, but they stick it out and they're still together.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of energy I feel you could build with Jason. I mean, Jason.
Yeah, no, I know.
Freudian strip. There is a Jason. So the person coming in early next year, that might be the option. His name is Jason. But Jordan, the other one, Jordan. I'm sorry, Mason. The guy's name is Mason, not Jason. The one early next year. But Jordan, it could work. It's just going to be a lot of work, and it's going to feel like a bittersweet.
It's been a lot of work. I mean, I really feel like I've just put everything possible, all my time, energy, and everything, and I just want to see him. I want to see us grow and be able to communicate in a healthy way. I'm the communicator. He's closed up. He's like a hermit.
No, so if you're expecting a lot of changes like that, you're expecting too much. He's shown you who he is. And it's not fair for us to apply our own standards and expectations on people who are not like that. So it's not like it. My partner likes for me to like react and be passionate when I've got something to say. But when I'm fighting, my first instinct is to shut down because I grew up in an abusive household. And if it escalated, it usually ended up with someone getting beat down.
So did he. So
yeah. And so my automatic response to everything is let me shut down. Maybe we can talk about this later, but I don't want this to escalate, and it's scaring me. My partner's very different, but we react differently to things. And so I'm never going to be this like passionate communicator which is funny because that's what I do for a living, communicate. But that's not how I am in a relationship. I'm very different.
And I've compromised with that. I definitely have compromised with that with him because his love languages are different than mine. Yeah. And my other question was, do you feel that we'll move back in together at some point?
Yeah, I do think that y'all may try to move back in together at the beginning of the year.
Okay. All right. Now,
and my last uncle. Yeah, we'll make this short because we went on for a little bit with the first question.
Yeah, we did.
So you wanted to connect with your uncle, you said?
My uncle will. Just a message or
Got it. Is this your dad's brother?
Yeah. No, not. Well, my dad's sister's husband. Okay. So my uncle.
Oh, so it's on his side. Got it. That's connect. Yeah. So it's just
brother. My dad's side.
Got it. He's doing this. Did y'all do a toast for him, or did y'all have drinks on him because he's like doing this like drink thing? 'Cause
He
he's
was
making
a
reference to that?
drinker.
Perfect.
He
Do
was
you
a
also know
drinker.
if there's a Hawaii shirt thing with him, or if he ever wore Hawaii style shirts?
He used to go to Cape Cod every year with his daughter, and it was their trip every year. So I think that's kind of maybe his way of.
Well, there might
showing.
actually be a picture of him with this Hawaiian style
Okay.
shirt. Because I'm seeing a Hawaiian style shirt. I'm actually thinking of those expensive shirts, but they're Hawaiian style shirts. But he's showing me something like this. So there might be something like that he's making a reference to. He's also showing me a bear. Or do you know they're planning on doing a Build-A-Bear, or there was a bear that they were going to make out of his stuff?
Not that I can think of right now, but I'll
Okay.
definitely.
He's showing me a bear. So either there's a bear that she connects to him, or there's a bear that's going to be made out of stuff. But there's a reference to this as well.
Okay.
He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's taking me to a school, and I'm like, where are you taking me inside a school? Did he never worked in a school, right? He never worked for school or in school? Okay. I'm seeing Saved by the Bell, and I'm trying to figure out why I'm seeing Saved by the Bell. Seeing Mr. Spelding, Zach.
Oh yeah, his daughter. I think that's something that she watched like faithfully. It's like one of her favorite shows.
Did they watch it together, or was there this thing for them?
Maybe they did.
Ask her about Saved by the Bell. There's something because I'm like, why am I seeing Saved by the Bell? So he's showing me this. There's something there that is there's a reference there. He also makes me feel. Thank you. Do you know this was caught too late, or this was just like there wasn't enough time to kind of get ahead of this? Because he's making me feel like he could have caught this early on or done something about this, and it was like didn't realize it was happening to me.
Yeah,
this diagnosis or lack of okay.
Yeah.
He also keeps showing me. Thank you. Do you also know if there was if this also became I don't say metastasized because I was going to say metastasized. I'm thinking of something else. Lymph nodes. You know this also affected his lymphatic system or started to spread into his lymphatic system?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you also know that, I guess I'll say it, metastasized? You know this metastasized?
He had cancer, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is just, it went everywhere. And I feel like they caught it too late and he might have not realized this was happening as badly or was going
the severity.
Yeah. He's okay. He's fine. The 13th is also connected to him. So the 13th of a month may be significant or January 3rd may be connected.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, darling. Will you take
I'm hoping these messages connect well with my cousin and my aunt. They really need to hear it.
Yeah.
So.
Random thing.
Yeah.
Is there a guy that lived by y'all, or when you were growing up, was there a guy that went missing in the neighborhood or went missing in the area and they never found him?
A woman, but not a guy. Not that I can think of, but
this was a guy. There was a group of them. It was kind of like there was a group of them because they gotten together. There was like 3 or 4 of them. They would get together and sometimes they would go and do stupid things. And they had gone to this area that's like the area that you grew up in or that neighborhood. Do you know there was like, I would say a national forest right by there, or there's like an area where it's more wooded and it's a heavy, undeveloped area that was there before?
There's near our hometown where he lived his whole entire life up until he had passed. Thatcher Park is like a place where everyone goes and like it's like a lookout and stuff. And yeah, it's a camping area and stuff.
Okay. Because what I'm thinking, I don't know if this guy's connected to your experiences when you were younger or if it's connected to him. I was thinking this was connected to your experiences when you were growing up, where there was a guy in the area who had gone missing or people didn't know what ended up happening.
Okay. Yeah. This kid, Steven Grunwald, which was his daughter, Autumn, my cousin's best friend, and he had passed. Steven Grunwald.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, did he go missing? Did they not find him right away?
He went missing and he was found passed on he was found passed.
Yeah, got it. Because I was seeing this like the trauma to the body. So I was seeing all of this physical trauma.
Yep, sorry, it just clicked.
Okay, perfect. The guy is there to tell the daughter that the friend that went missing is there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I've taken enough of your time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling. You take care of yourself, sweetheart. All right, is it going over here? Don't worry, guys. I'll come back to a
That's
few
me.
questions. Hello.
Hi, can you
Hi,
see me?
sweetheart. Hi. I can't see. You might have to turn on your camera.
Oh, I don't know how do I send it? How do I? Well, can you hear me? Is that
I can
okay?
hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. I think it's the. What did she say? um, Christina. What was it? It was a freaking. It's either it's a little edit button or um edit button or a little pencil or something on the screen. I think, or like the
Um,
you might multi button. It's the multi button. So it's the little three dots. I think.
three dots, three dots.
Or multi
Oh,
button. I don't even know what the multi button looks like unless it's the three dots.
found it.
There you go. You got it. Yeah. What does it
Found
look
it.
like? Is it three dots?
Yeah, you
Oh,
click on the multi, and then you just put the camera button. I just had it
but
off.
when you say multi, does it say multi or is it just three? It's like the button is
It
three
says
dots.
it doesn't say three dots. It says multi guy or multi something. Like it's
Multi
the
guys,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
two characters together. Okay, I'm here with
Oh,
my
okay, cool.
sister.
I don't even know. Oh, I don't even know what. Hi, y'all. All
Hey.
right, y'all. What y'all want to ask me about?
Well, I've gotten readings from you, so I want to do with her. So maybe she
Oh yeah.
might
Hey,
have something.
hey, girl.
Hi,
What you want to ask me about?
yes, I wanted to ask about my career. I feel like I've been debating or wanting to get out of. I'm an attorney and I practice immigration law, and I've kind of wondered whether maybe I should start looking into doing something else. I've been doing it.
I think you will. What I think is going to happen is I think in about 2 years and 3 months, I think someone that you either went to law school with or someone you knew through your contacts with law school is going to be working for either they're working for city council or they're involved with projects that have to do with city council. Some of the work that they're going to be doing has to do with, I kind of want to say it has to do with lawsuits that have to do with, you know how like sometimes there's eminent domain where they move people out of areas that are pretty much like low, like impoverished areas to get. So
Yeah.
it has something to do with projects like that. But it might be on a state level, but that may be the beginning of a start of this. So I feel like this might kind of take you in a little bit of a different area. I still think it's going to be law though. So I still think you're going to be doing work that's legal related, but it won't be immigration law. It feels like it's going to be more to do with representing or being involved with the city and working as part of their team.
Awesome. I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I also think that at some point you're going to end up doing some pro bono work that is immigration related, but it's more like on the side, and you do it here and there from time to time.
Awesome. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
how exciting.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Any last question before I let you go?
I did. So a couple, maybe like about a month or two ago, I had a dream of a friend who passed away years ago, and it felt like he visited me. The dream was very he was very bright and warm, and I've never, felt someone like that in a dream. It was very like, go come follow me, and it was, it was my old high school friend from a long time ago.
Well, when you were in high school, I mean, he struggled a bit more, right? Back then, he was not happy. Yeah. This is his way of telling you that he was able to achieve a level of happiness in heaven than he was able to do in life. So it's almost his way of saying, hey, guess what? Like, I'm happy now. Like, and he was just trying to tell you and show you that he was happy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because we lost contact for a long time, and that was it was kind of random, but I felt good. We were really close back then, so it felt nice to see him, and he did seem like just glowing and everything like that.
Yeah.
I just want one question on relationship wise. Okay, so I haven't dated in like a year. I mean, I've dated, but I just never found someone I liked enough. Maybe because I'm not open enough to people. But I just want to know if I should start dating again or if I should just continue focus on work, because I'm really focused on work and it's going really well.
I do think you're gonna date. I'm assuming you're straight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I was assuming everybody's straight until they correct me. The name I'm seeing in my head is like a James or a Jamie. It could be Hyman, but it's like a James or Jamie. I actually think this is someone that you might meet. I want to say in about a year and a half. They might be a direct supervisor or someone that's over you in a project or something you're working on. So be aware because it may catch you a little off guard, but it does feel like something that could potentially turn into more.
Okay, because it's so funny because I know it's like I keep feeling like it's going to start with the J. And
Yeah.
yeah,
It'll come. It's gonna take about a year and a half or so.
a year and a half, and nothing this year.
Nah, nothing this year. Nothing. I feel like this year you might reconnect with an old friend, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
All right, Mom.
appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Y'all take care of yourselves,
You,
baby.
you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right. Oop. Let's see, what is that? Okay. I was like, something showed up and I don't know what it was. Okay, let me jump over here to Instagram. Something showed up and I don't know what it was. Okay, let me jump over here to Instagram. Okay, I think I'll do. I'm at my time. So let me look at some questions real quick and then I'll answer them for you, okay? Sweetest Sin XO, I think it is. Do you see me getting a house this year? I don't see you getting a house this year. You might see something you want in November, but I'm thinking you're not gonna find something until January. So it may take you another couple of months after that. But I'm thinking that you'll start having something pretty close to what you can do in November. Miss Yessie baby. Jessica, my custody case has been at a standstill. When will it resume? And will I finally get them home permanently? It's going to take about a month and a half for it to resume. I feel like there's stipulations to it, so it may not go the way you want it to go, but I think you're one step closer to getting them back home. I do think that by December, by Christmas, they're back home, but I think that there's this whole process that goes along with it. So it might take about a month and a half before this starts rolling again, okay? Let's see over here. Oh gosh, y'all are funny. Is it Rose like hi Ferny, my sister is my sister is facing a scary hole. My sister is scaring a hairy hole. My sister is facing a scary hole is what she put. And then I was like, what? And I was like, okay. I was like, well, that can be said about a lot of gay men for sure. But and then she corrected herself. She went, I hear Ferny. Whoops, I meant my sister is facing a scary time health-wise. Will she be okay? I feel like there's a two-part process to her recovery. I don't feel it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be scary. I also think that May is it's going to feel like May's a very intense time for her because a lot of things have to happen in May. But I feel that this is something she can overcome and get through. It's just going to take time. And there's a two-part process for her recovery through this, okay? It does feel like there's reason to be concerned. So I don't feel like this is just hype. I feel like there's a reason to be concerned. But like, it does feel like something that can be overcome. So I do feel confident about that, okay? I also think that she might have to go through a series of injections because I keep seeing like 5 or 6 injections. Yeah, Julie, my sister has lymphoma, but is asymptomatic. Thank God. Will she be okay? So I feel like the next 2 years are going to be, it feels like she's going to be like kind of on high alert for 2 years. And during that 2-year period, I think that there's different suggestions or options for her to keep her system in check. But I feel like after the 2-year period, I don't feel like this is an issue. So my thinking is whatever this is, after 2 years, I feel like this is done. So I'm thinking there's a 2 year period of her having to deal with getting this resolved, or just getting this kind of to the level where you're feeling like you're in control, and it's not going to be more than that. But I feel like this is a 2 year process for us. It's going to be it's going to be a process. But if after 2 years, I feel like this is done, and I'm not feeling like, I'm almost reminded of people when they go into remission, or they're like told like I don't know enough about asymptomatic lymphoma. I've never heard of that, so I don't know what that means. But I feel like this is a 2 year thing, and then she has to go through a few shifts and changes with her her system. I'm almost seeing them doing like an exploratory procedure at some point with a camera, because they want to check something to be absolutely certain. But I'm feeling fine with this. So I feel like after 2 years, this might be going in a different direction, or this may not be an issue. Because I'm reminded of people who would tell me, I was going to treatment, and I'm in remission now, or they don't have it's gone. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it'll come back. So I'm kind of feeling that vibe with her. Okay. Reina Zapata. Hey, Brenny, do you see me in a relationship soon? No. About 7 months. About the end of the year. Give it to the end of the year, because I feel like you'll be seeing someone or dating somebody at the end of the year. But don't be so trusting. Doesn't mean you shouldn't trust people. I'm just saying don't give everybody the benefit of the doubt, or don't assume. Just because I feel like that person, you might need to like let them really clue you into their circumstances, because I kind of feel like they've got a little bit of a messy history with relationships. So they may need to show you that they're serious. Okay. All right, guys. I love you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am done. All right. I will be back on Friday. Okay. I love you all, and I will see you.